Today, I'm going to be talking about EMDR therapy. EMDR therapy is a type of therapy that helps people process trauma. Hi, my name is Patty Munoz. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I specialize in working with Latinos with depression, anxiety, and trauma. I provide EMDR therapy, brain spotting therapy, and I provide therapy in English and Spanish. My preferred method in therapy is EMDR. EMDR is very helpful at targeting main issues for anxiety, depression, and trauma. EMDR helps you get to the bottom of what could be causing it, which could be, for example, a traumatic event, traumatic memory, and it helps you reprocess this memory. We do this by stimulating eye movements, left to right. We could also do sounds, left, right sounds. We could also do something called tapping. With tapping, we could tap our thighs. We could tap, for example, the butterfly hug to activate the memory and reprocess it. Once we reprocess the memory, what happens is that we develop a new, almost like storyline in our brains. And this new storyline tends to be around more helpful self-talk, more positive self-esteem, and it helps our neurons reconnect in a more helpful, positive way. It's beneficial to go through the process of EMDR with a trained therapist because a trained therapist will initially teach you the tools to manage the distress related to activating these traumatic memories. A trained therapist will teach you coping skill strategies such as grounding, deep breathing, using imagery, using mindfulness. So in case you get overly activated in a session, you will have the tools to ground yourself and bring you back to a stable mood. Whereas if somebody does processing without a therapist, you enter the difficulty of maybe not having somebody guide you through that. Also, sometimes when we open up memories without knowing how to contain it in a safe manner, it could actually bring back PTSD or make PTSD worse because you don't have somebody that's trained helping you process these thoughts, these feelings, or these memories. So it's very important that a trained professional is with you as you're targeting these memories or processing these traumas. With EMDR and my style of therapy, this can help you reduce symptoms of anxiety, depression, PTSD, and even phobias. Because with my style of therapy, we get to address those issues that are causing the anxiety or the depression or your current issues. You will learn tools on how to manage your symptoms of anxiety, depression, and trauma. Usually in therapy, you will learn tools on how to do this even on your own, even after you're done with therapy. You will take these tools with you. And this is important because you will learn how to manage your triggers, how to manage maybe reminders of the trauma if that happens in the future. So even though therapy is focused on processing the trauma, we could also teach you tools to take with you in the future and help you cope with life stressors in a more healthy way. With EMDR therapy, what we do is that we teach you how to look at different stories of your life as an outsider. So you're not in the trauma, but you're observing and processing the trauma with the help of a therapist. This is very beneficial because you can move from panic, stress mode to a more healthy view of yourself and of processing the trauma. It's almost like you're looking at a movie. You're looking at a clip of something that happened to you in your life. You're looking at it from an outsider. And yes, you might still get triggered. You might still get anxious or overwhelmed, but you're processing it this time in a safe place. And you're also learning tools to learn how to tolerate those emotions that come with that memory. For example, with EMDR therapy, we could process, let's say, a car accident. You know, your rational mind knows you're not in the car accident anymore, but you could be an observer of that and process it in the safety of your therapist's office, even at your own home if you're doing virtual therapy, And that in itself also recreates a new story of safety because you're no longer in that trauma. You're an outsider looking in and processing it. I have seen EMDR be very helpful in all kinds of traumas, especially with sexual abuse, childhood sexual abuse. Also, I've seen it very helpful with traumatic events in adulthood. For example, car accidents, traumatic births, even if it's a traumatic loss of a loved one. I have seen it very helpful in that regard of it helps you process these emotions that can be overwhelming and that we often carry with us unless we have that space to process them and heal. Because processing trauma can be very difficult and it is a very delicate matter. It is important that we find somebody that is trained, that we feel comfortable with, and that provides that safe space in therapy. You could do this by talking to different therapists. Most therapists offer a free consultation. Get to know them, their style, their training, their experience, especially when it comes to modalities like EMDR.